Hi, this is Christal Jackson with the Module 2 t-test analysis. The purpose of the t-test analysis is to determine is if there is a significant difference in district enrollment between Region 1 and Region 5. The assumption or the null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between district enrollment in Regions 1 and Region 5. So the steps that we're going to take to determine significance is that we're going to, one, look for normality, two, Levine's test for equality of variances, three, Cohen's d-value, and then we're going to put it all together. So let's start by looking for normality. We're going to look at a histogram of the data and search for normality within the histogram. So in order to do that, in SPSS, you would go to analyze descriptives and then explore. Make sure to set the region as the factor list and the enrollment as the dependent list. Also be careful to only include regions 1 and region 5, just so that you have only the data that you need. And then as well as make sure to check the box next to histogram. So since I'm only checking the assumptions, I'll only be looking at the histograms for of the enrollment for each region. So what I've noticed by visual inspection is that the data is not normally distributed, especially in region 1. The data in region 1 has a positive skew, meaning that the most of the data is focused at the lower values, which also there are some extreme outliers. This indicates that the the schools or the districts within the region are not the same size. Therefore, some have larger enrollment uh larger enrollments than other schools in the region. This also from this histogram, we can see that there's not an even distribution of the enrollment among the region. Same goes for region 5. There's not normality. There's no bell curve here. There are some outliers again showing that the districts within the region are not the same size. However, it's not as severe as the as region 1. But again, there is some skew here, but again, it's not the same as it's not as severe as region 1. So from here, we dig a little deeper and we will look at Levine's test for equality of variances. And this test can be conducted again in SPSS, analyze in the top, then compare means and proportions, and then independent samples and t-test, making sure that the grouping variable is regions 1 and 5, and the test variable is enrollment, and then also make sure to check homogeneity of variance test. From this output, we can see that the significance of um, for Levine's test for equality of variances is 0.011. Since this is less than 0.05, the assumption of homogeneity of variance is not met. And we can reject the null hypothesis. This should say reject the whole, this should say reject the null hypothesis. Um, so again, the null hypothesis is that there is no relationship between the region and the district enrollment. However, since this assumption was not met, then this indicates that there may be some relationship between the two. And the last value that we are going to look at is Cohen's d-value. For this data, Cohen's d-value is 0.39, which is between the ranges of zero point 0.2 and zero point 0.5, indicating a small effect. So From Levine's test, we saw that the significance is 0.011, indicating that there is some difference between, or some significance between the region and the district enrollment. However, Cohen's d-value shows us that the significance is a small effect. So it's statistically meaningful, the difference in enrollment between the regions. However, the effect of that difference is small. So this leads us to our last thing, which is our final results. And for our final results, based on our analysis, we can reject the null hypothesis that there is no significant relationship between district enrollment in Region 1 and Region 5. There is a significant difference in district enrollment between Region 1 and Region 5. Our uh, TDF is 77.27, and our T value is 2.83. Our P value is 0.011, and our D value is 0.39. Because our P value is less than 0.05, we can reject the null hypothesis, which lets us know that there is a significance between the the region and the district enrollment. However, again, Cohen's D value lets us know that that significance is a small effect. Thank you.